Hello, this is Reverend Bill, and today is uh, January 3rd. I lost my glasses, so it's going to be a little difficult reading things. Hopefully, I'll find them soon. I've got a terrible habit of losing glasses shortly after I get them. This was some kind of a record. I think I actually kept these for about 6 months, but I think they're lost. We'll see what happens, though, but I think they're gone. Anyway, today, I thought I was going to do a review on The Fall Guy. A little bit of background with me and The Fall Guy. When it first came out as a TV show, I was uh, I was in college, and I did actually watch it first run. Um, it was Lee Majors, Heather Thomas, and Douglas Barr, I believe. Um, Lee Majors played a stunt man that, in order to make ends meet, took a job as a bounty hunter, and he had two proteges, apprentices, Jody and Howie. Now, this movie is quite puzzling to me. They they didn't have Howie, and Jody had become a director and a love interest, where she never was in the TV show. It was a very platonic relationship. She wanted to get into doing stunt work, and he was mentoring her and Howie. But I guess they changed it around here, which I guess could have worked. But the thing that kind of surprised me the most is I don't know. I guess it's that there probably was some money being passed for the copyrights of this, because it was on for about 5 or 6 years back in the day, um, and there really wasn't much alike. I mean, they did use the name Cole Severs. Yeah, they used the name Jody. Uh, he was a stunt man, and he owned a truck, and that's pretty much about all the similarities go. They could have done this story without paying any royalties for uh, you know copyright, because it really wasn't at all like the TV show. Essentially, in this one, Ryan Gosling was uh, he was a stunt man, but where Lee Majors was kind of an elderly statesman, probably I'd guess in his 40s and very seasoned. Ryan Gosling's very much a young stud who falls for Jody, and it's a love story. The Fall Guy was not originally a love story in any way, shape, or form. Quite the opposite. The theme was Lee Majors would be doing these stunts. I think, if I remember correctly, about once an episode, he would do an incredible stunt, and then it would go off, and he would be a bounty hunter being hired to go and investigate whatever, bring back the bad guy. Um, and it was during the 80s, it was very much cartoon violence. A lot of shows like The Fall Guy and The A Team, there was plenty of fighting and violence and gunshots and explosions. No one ever got hurt. You never saw blood. People never died. As a matter of fact, a lot of times, especially with the A Team, you'd see maybe a guy getting blown off a bridge and falling 30 feet, and then immediately jump up and start screaming. So they were very careful to make sure you realized no one got hurt. And it was kind of a tongue in cheek thing, and we all knew, and it was okay. Uh, this was something else. I really wanted to like this movie when it came out. I wanted to go see it, and I got to tell you, it was a real disappointment to me. I really wanted to like it. I really tried to like it. Um, it really was a mess. Um, in the original, movie, the show, he pretty much in the opening credits summed up exactly what the theme was. He said, I'm a stunt man, and I got to make ends meet, so I do bounty hunting on the side to get extra money. Boom, there you got the whole theme. It didn't take more than 15 seconds. You're all caught up. This movie, it seemed like it took 45 minutes. It didn't give you that opening, and probably because it wouldn't work. That's not what he was here. He was a young stunt man who was in love with a director. So it took about 45 minutes to give you his background story, which wasn't terribly exciting. And I didn't like it very much. Finding out about why he is where he is when the movie gets going really did nothing for me but bore me. The acting was fine. I like Ryan Gosling. I liked Emily Blount. Um, so I was expecting I'd like the movie, but it was a mess. The director is David Leitch. I guess that's how you spell his name, or pronounce his name, Leitch. I looked at his background. He did Deadpool 2, which I thought was okay. And he also did Bullet Train, which I thought were okay. But those are the only other movies he did besides this. Um, when I worked in the theater in the '80s had a period of time where there was a lot of you know movies about bad guys chasing good guys. There'd be a MacGuffin. If you guys, if you could, let me explain a MacGuffin. A MacGuffin is a device in a movie, in case you didn't know, that moves the story along. Like James Bond is lying on the beach with his girlfriend at the beginning of the movie, and then why would he leave? Well, he gets a call and says, "Oh yeah, there's a MacGuffin's been stolen," and once there's a terrorist group, you've got to save it or the world will end. And he ends up chasing the MacGuffin the whole movie. Apart from being something that everyone wants, it doesn't really play a major part in the movie. It just gives an excuse to get James Bond off the sand and going around to the Middle East fighting people. It's a literary device. There's MacGuffin here as well, where it just gives, a reason for Colt Seavers, played by Ryan Gosling, to go running around like a crazy man and people shooting at him. And there's a lot of that in the '80s, just a movie with poor scripts that just had people running around trying to shoot each other over a MacGuffin. And it reminded me of that. Um, the movie was very simplistic. As I said, just bad guys chasing good guys, trying to get a MacGuffin. Um, I used to like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I saw him in Nocturnal Animals, and I thought that he had a very bright future. Um, I even was thinking about maybe he might be a next James Bond. Well, I'm beginning to have my doubts. At very least, he needs to get another agent because he's just been picking some terrible roles. This did nothing for him. Craven did nothing for him. I think I saw him in something else which escapes me. But his career is, he's not doing his career any favors. So yeah, he needs to get back making good movies, or his career is just gonna, blow up like um, Army Hammers. Yeah, I thought Army Hammer was going to be a star too, but we don't know what happened to him. Uh, to complete the whole debacle, at the end, Blake Shelton destroys the theme song, "The Unknown Stuntman." For those of you who don't know it, Lee Majors sang the song on the original show, and it was kind of a rugged song. It basically said, um, that he risked his life, and some other guy would get the girl while he's bandaging his knees. Um, he risked his life and he gets no thanks. It was just kind of it just basically a song saying, being a stuntman is thankless. I never get the women, never get the fame, and Blake Shelton turned it into some kind of a love song. I think maybe it's just a period of time now. The guys, toxic masculinity, we can't have that. Um, but I thought that was the ultimate insult, where they changed the theme song into something that made him sound like he was like a lovesick pony. Um, but have they? This movie was way too long too. It was like 2 hours and 10 minutes. This was not a movie that should be over 2 hours. Again, back when I was a projectionist, most movies came in around an hour and a half. If there was an epic movie, I think like Empire of the Sun by Spielberg, when that came in, that was about 2 hours because that was an epic. When we got Schindler's List, that was an epic movie, yes. But this played like a bad TV show. It didn't have to be 2 hours and 10 minutes. If they stuck with the original premise, which everyone's familiar with, they could have cut 45 minutes off the beginning, telling this convoluted story about how he's in love with his director and all this other stuff that I don't want to get into. What else? What else? What else? What else do I got here? Well, that said, I mean, essentially, I was suggesting, I mean, this turned into more of a love story, which was not, again, anything to do with the Fall Guy. They didn't need to pay the rights to it. But I mean, it would have been interesting if they stuck with the original premise. If they had him, in Hollywood, doing stunts and doing bounty hunting, and they could do kind of what the show did. The show would have cameos. He'd be on the set doing stunts, and then he'd walk off, and maybe Raquel Welch would walk past him and wink at him or something. That would have been kind of funny. I mean, it would have been better if you saw him in Hollywood instead of I don't even know where he ended up. Australia, I think. Anyway, I don't know why he went to Australia. But if you stayed in Hollywood and then just could see all these girls in bikinis that he couldn't get, and cameos, let's say Leonardo DiCaprio walking by with two beautiful women, one on each arm, while Ryan Gosling had this sour look on his face, that would be more in line with the Fall Guy. But that was not the case here. Or having Scarlett Johansson or Robert Downey Jr. or something like that in a scene, they could have made it kind of fun instead of this drudgery of. I was all set with this after an hour, and it was, like I said, 2 hours and 10 minutes. So anyway, didn't like it. It seems I've not been liking anything recently. And I promise you, I do like movies. It's just that they're really not serving up anything really good. And I am going to see Nosferatu the next day or two, and I'll let you know about that. Hopefully, it'll be better than what I've been watching recently. Anyway, well, that's it for me tonight. I will talk to you later. If you like this, please like, subscribe, and share. If you got anything to say to me, you got my email address. Send me anything you want. And that's about it. Have a good weekend. Bye.